shit up, shaking shit up, shaking shit up. Oh, we shaking shit up.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to season 3, episode 1 of Shakin Shit Up. Our stories, our messages, our art, the way we want to do it, is what Shakin Shit Up is all about. It's about the art, but it's more about the conversation that is sparked from the art. There is no script. There's just real conversation. And I just want to welcome y'all to Shaking Shit Up season 3. We are so excited to be with you today. My name is Sharon Nyree Williams, and my pronouns are she, her, and I am a caramel complected black woman. I have face piercings in my face all throughout. I'm wearing a black shirt that says in gold lettering, Ray Aquino, and I am at home, and behind me I have some red and black curtains, red, black, and gold paintings, and I am just very, very happy to be here today. So thank you for joining us. I'm excited. I'm gonna bring my partner on right quick, Michael B. Maine.
Hey, Sharon.
What? Yo,
What's up?
tell us what you're working with, man. Describe the audience. Describe for the audience what you looking like.
All right, I'm looking like a cocoa caramel complected black man, wearing a peach blazer and a gray dress shirt with some pinstripes on the inside of the collar. I have a relatively short beard, and I'm wearing a hat and some headphones. I am lit, but my background is dark because I'm here at the studio and it's messy. I ain't trying to show y'all all of that.
Cool. Yo, Michael, what have you been up to since the last Shaking Shit Up?
Ooh, my biggest project has been me. I've been focusing on trying to treat myself like a person and not a machine. So I've been doing things like setting better boundaries, working out every day, trying to make sure I'm getting sleep, eating healthy, cooking a lot more, going out on walks, enjoying some of the slower things in life. That's what I've been working on really. Besides that, I have a couple of personal projects I'm focusing on, and I'm doing a lot around accessibility in the nonprofit space and in live events and just trying to make things happen, make the media landscape a little bit more fun, fair, and equitable every day.
That's what's up. Appreciate you, my
Appreciate you.
brother. Thank you. I'm just happy to be back here with you in this space and everyone. So we're not gonna. We want to say hey to Mira and Mama May because we know you on. Thanks for joining us. And then Mira said for Michael, yes, you have. Yes, you have Michael. Yes, you have Michael. Get those good boundaries, no doubt. That's what's up. Thank you. I can't even read today. Hey, so I want to give y'all a little talk to let y'all know I'm not 100% tonight. I've been battling this cough. They think it might be asthma related. I just started working with an inhaler earlier today. I'm popping a lot of cough drops, drinking water, and so I might go on mute a lot tonight. But we're gonna push through, and I'm gonna try my best not to cough and scare you on screen.
And I'm
No
gonna do
doubt.
my best to have your back.
Yeah, that's what
Got
I'm
your back.
talking about. Hey, Michael, yo, Terrence Smith is one of our guests for tonight. And I am so excited to have Terrence Smith. Y'all don't know how many times I tried to schedule Terrence for this show, and he traveling and doing stuff. And I'm so excited to have him on the show. I met Terrence years ago when he did his first gallery competition thingy. And he won hands down, won the competition. And ever since then, I've been trying to keep him motivated and just loving all the work that he is posting on his Instagram page. But let me tell you a little bit about Terrence. Terrence was born and raised in Los Angeles, California during the turbulent 60s and 70s civil rights movement. Terrence L. Smith, a self taught artist who has been drawing and painting since he was a young child, began drawing as a means of escapism. This use of art as an escape later turned into a means of relieving stress as he built a successful career in aviation as an electrical engineer, culminating as an executive with the Boeing Company. For many years, only his immediate family knew what a prolific portfolio of drawings and paintings he had accumulated over the years. As a self taught artist, he has accomplished all that he knows with the help of God and through a powerful passion and desire to draw and to paint. He draws and or paints daily and is always reading about art, studying works of others, and experimenting and practicing different techniques. He's shaking shit up. He paints mainly in charcoal, graphite, watercolor, pen, and ink, but also works with acrylic on Canvas. Terrence's extraordinary and bold usage of color is clearly only one of the defining elements that one might use in describing the feeling and emotion that his work evokes. Over the years, he has experimented with various styles while developing his craft. Most recently, Terrence has focused on colorful and emotional semi abstract portraits, some with bold colored garments. An important aspect of Terrence's work as an adult is his strong belief that his ideas and creativity are gifts from God. He starts each drawing or painting with a silent prayer and ends with an expression of thanks. Therefore, there is a deep spiritual awareness that one discovers in his work. Terrence often gets inspiration from the works of various artists. Some of his favorites are Jacob Lawrence, Charles Bibbs, Kehinde Wiley, and William Tolliver. You can follow Terrence and he uploads an almost daily expression of his drawings and paintings on his Instagram page at Terrence Smith 58. Yo, the brother is dope. And I can't wait for you to learn more about Terrence. Please welcome to the Shakin Shit Up stage, Mr. Terrence Smith.
Hey,
What's good?
hey, Queen.
How you doing today, sir?
Doing real good. Excited about being on your show and just looking forward to the conversation.
That's what's up. I like it. You recently went to Brooklyn and came back.
I
Yeah.
did.
What's popping in Brooklyn?
So I have my first granddaughter, uh, and I went there to visit her and my son. Her name is Isla Noel Smith, and she had her first birthday.
Mm.
And it was it was just 2 weeks of love, you know, 2 weeks of love being with the granddaughter and my son and his wife and eating out all the time and just having fun. I got a chance to go around to some galleries in Manhattan.
Okay. That's what's up.
Michael, do you hear feedback?
I do hear feedback. Mhm.
Okay. Hopefully it's not me. But anyway, Brooklyn was wonderful.
That's what's up. I am so happy. Yo, I asked you what are three things people that you wanted people to know about you. You said, I'm a man of God, husband, father, and now grandfather. I enjoy the process of creating, whether my own process or watching, understanding other creatives do their thing. I had a long, successful engineering career before committing and being able to comfortably say, I'm an artist. Hmm. Yeah, what made you what finally made you comfortable to admit that you are an artist?
Well, you had a big part in that. So, long story short, like you said in the bio, I've been drawing and painting for years, and no one really, except my immediate family and a few friends, really knew that I did that. When I retired from Boeing a few years ago, started playing around. I never had any social media accounts. So I opened up a Facebook account, and my wife said, "Oh, you should put some of your art on there." So I did, and I started putting more and more on there. And someone reached out to me from an art show, Conception Art Show, and said, "Hey, like your stuff. We're gonna have a show in Seattle, et cetera, et cetera. You would be perfect." I I, I kind of tried to play it off and said, "Oh no, I'm not really an artist. I just do this for fun." Blah blah blah. And then my wife found out that somebody had reached out, and she encouraged, softly encouraged me to pursue it. So I said, okay, just to, I won't, this might sound crude, but just to kind of shut her up and shut up other people so that they can find out that there's a lot of great artists out there and nobody's paying attention to Terrence Smith. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'll put a few pieces in, etc. Well, I did that first time doing an art show. Didn't think anything was going to come of it. Sold out pretty much everything that I bought there. And I didn't even know that there was a competition going on. And lo and behold, I won the show. I was the best artist in the show out of a ton of really great artists. And Queen Nyree was there, and she was one of the judges, and she was one of the first ones to recognize that, you know, I had some potential, basically. So that gave me a lot of confidence. And once I won that, Sharon bought a piece. She gave it to Michael, who's the co-host on the show. And Michael was doing a show at Langston. Michael said, "Hey, bro, you should put your stuff in the show, blah, 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 blah." So I put a few pieces there. And I met Ernest Thomas at Onyx through that connection. And from there, with Ernie and doing, continuing to do the social media stuff, things are just like kind of gone way beyond what I imagined. And a few years ago, I felt comfortable enough now to say I'm an artist. I'm no longer an engineer. I'm no longer a Boeing executive. All that's behind me, although that played a big part of who I am. But now I'm an artist, and that's what I do now. Pretty much every day, I create. You're on mute.
Yeah, I had a coughing fit in the middle of that. But yo, that is an amazing story. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm just so honored to be on that journey, to have been a part of that journey. And I look forward to the work that you're going to show. So we'll be back with you in a second. I have to introduce this other wonderful artist, and then we'll get this joint popping. So this next artist, I met him right before, way before, a little bit before COVID, and they were doing an exhibition showcase to the community about a project that was happening here in Seattle, and a development project, Midtown. And I went and met a lot of the artists that was contributing to that project, and that's where I met Mr. Myron Curry. And he's going to share one of my favorite pieces with us tonight. But Myron has been doing some amazing things. Is such an amazing man. But let me tell you a little bit about him from his artist statement. Myron says, "My contribution in an attempt to inject emotion into the world through my art. Art is an expression of emotions, interests, curiosities, fascinations, beauty, and its effects. Art is my absolute therapy. I'm drawn to many things known and unknown. I crystallize moments in life and tangle with others like a tree's roots, enabling them to last forever and detail beyond memory. Things reverberate within me and surface through my art. Distinctive emotions arise at times without detail. Those I express abstractly, allowing my energy to flow parallel to my creative soul. Creative art releases my spirit from the reality I've at times found myself physically or mentally captured within." A displaced memory. I had long forgotten my desire to draw and color as a child. It was blanketed by my understanding of financial struggle, only brought on by the extreme amount of questions only a child asks, why? My entrepreneurial spirit was born, lying the artist to rest in a deep slumber. It was the abundant love I received that protected me from the reality for so long. Many mistakes. Later, I was incarcerated, imposed with a very lengthy sentence. During this time, I rediscovered who I was and the passion for artistic creativity and detail. Concealing my creative expressions from the world did not last long. My secret was unmasked, and others encouraged me to share it, which has led me here today. I want people to know my art is my creative articulation of what reaches my soul, attracts me, and piques my curiosity as a human being. I'm a person of many dimensions who's had many challenges, failures, and personal success. My heart and soul knows no depth too deep, and my mind and body knows no limit to optimistic ambitions. My contribution in an attempt to inject emotion through visual art into the world. Please welcome to the Shakin Shit Up stage, Mr. Myron Curry. What's up, player? How you doing?
Good, and yourself? I'm doing very, very good.
Thank you
Um,
for joining us on Shakin Shit Up.
it's my honor and my pleasure. This is my time to be happy and enjoy and relax.
But
So thank you for having me.
what people don't know is that you rushed here tonight to be on this show and tell the people what you were doing before you got here.
I was at an event for Transforming Lives for Seattle Central, representing Seattle Central. Man, I almost cried in there for real. Because it's been so long, you know what I mean? Like new presidents, but I know the new president now, and all the it just was so much love, and they, is celebrating me, but I'm like celebrating them, the people behind the scenes, such as yourself and Michael, and so many others that make these things possible. That a lot of people don't see the work, and I can't overlook that. You know what I mean? Like this, I'm only here because of you guys. You know what I mean? Period. And there was a lot of work that went behind this show and that community in Seattle Central, and that's where I got the love from, and that's where it transpires.
Let's be clear. You are here because you are an amazing human with an amazing gift that you are willing to share with the world.
Thank
And
you.
we are here to help uplift that because you're doing great things. And you and Terrence both are doing some amazing things.
Thank you.
And so we really do appreciate that. When I asked you three things that you wanted people to know about you, you said, I am always ready to contribute and invest in our community and or any positive development. My enthusiasm displayed would always express my passions, and I make it happen without a second thought. Yo, where does that come from? Where does that self-determination, that drive? Where yo, how? Tell me, tell the world.
Well, I don't advise everyone to take my journey for first off. It was very thorough. But I mean, I have to be honest because that's just my nature. But being from like the streets and then being incarcerated, you have to make your decisions and act on those decisions with conviction. You know what I mean? And I lead by how it feels, and if you lead with that, you know what I mean? Like there is no question. This is my decision. I'm standing on it. I stood on my decisions even though they were incorrect and not ethical, that led me to incarceration. I did my time, I don't knock anybody else for whatever they do, but I did what I was supposed to do. I sat down, accepted my, was accountable for my actions, and worked on myself, and I spoke about that at the event I was just at. You know what I mean? I dove right in, you know what I mean? Like even I just did everything, to better myself, to educate myself, to help others. Like it's just my passion. And like this right now was the first time ever hearing my artist statement read before. And I was like, wow. You know how long ago I wrote that artist statement? Like right when I had got out. And I was trying, because I really don't have a mystical, thing about my art, but I had to really sit down and be like, well, what is it? You know what I mean? What is, and that's just me. Like the satisfaction comes from when people are like, wow, and like happy, because most of my art is like people's family members, their loved ones gone and still here, community members, artists, different, you know what I mean? Like, so it's emotionally charged. And I've seen so many people cry when they receive, my work, because it had a personal attachment. Honestly, that's almost protocol, like at this point, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, so I know it feels good, so I've just, I just make the decision, and I know it's right, and I go. And if I don't know how to do it, I figure it out.
Ooh, yes. Thank you. I love that. Yo, my friend Charles said, "Good evening from Los Angeles." Wait a minute, no, Charles would say it like, "Good evening from Los Angeles." And Charles was a
Good
guest
evening,
on
Charles.
Shit Up in season 2. And then Nicole Creech said, "Very poetic artist statement." I was thinking the same thing, Nicole. When I was reading, it was just flowing off my tongue like poetry. So thank you very much. And then Paul Wagner comes in. "Congrats, Terrence. You have definitely arrived. So proud to call you my brother." Yo, that's what's up. I am so excited to have both of you. Michael, can you bring Terrence back up to the platform for me? Yes, I am so excited to have you two here to be in conversation. We're going to have a great time. For those of you who've never seen Shakin Shit Up before, this is how it works. Terrence will show a piece, tell us what he wants us to know about that piece. Then I will ask Mark, and Mark would instinctively just say what he gets out of the piece. I will share my thoughts. Michael will share their thoughts, and then we'll just keep it going. Then Myron will show a piece. You, as the audience, you get to be involved through the chat. Put your comments in there, whatever you would like to say. That's respectful, and we'll get those up on the show as well. So let's start it off. Thank y'all very much, fellas. Thank you to the audience. We are going to start with Terrence and your first piece. Terrence and Michael, the floor is yours.
All righty.
All right. So this piece I did over probably a 3 to 5, 6 month period of time. And it was one of the first pieces that I really kind of concentrated on doing an art piece. I had spent a lot of time in my previous job in Ethiopia, working with one of the airlines there. And the women and the people of Ethiopia, they're just stunning. So I wanted to incorporate some of the facial features, because I love to do portraits. Facial features that I saw there, along with some of the OCD characteristics that I have. And what I mean by that is this piece is made up of thousands of little concentric circles and doodles and all of that. And it took, like I said, it took over a 3 to 4 month period of time. I would come home after work and decompress and just start doodling and creating the images that you see here now. And it was fun doing it. It's one of my favorite pieces. My wife's favorite piece, she calls it Golden Girl. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a conglomeration of some of my travels in Ethiopia and some of the doodles, for lack of a better word, that I incorporate in a lot of my art. A lot of stress relief for me to do these, just very repetitive. If you know a person that's OCD, they like repetition, they like things that are the same. Basically, they don't like change too much. And I would just spend, like I said, hours doing the hair piece, and then at the bottom some of those doodle kind of graphics, et cetera, et cetera. And this piece is probably 18. I think the original is 18 by 24, so it's fairly large. Um, and it's pen and ink, and I think there's a little watercolor in there, but mostly pen and ink, and with colored pens. The golden part is like colored pens.
Awesome. Thank you. Lorinda Hawkins Smith says beautiful.
Thank you, Lorinda.
Awesome. Hey, Myron, what does this piece say to you?
Well, since I get to say something, I was typing. I was trying to say, man, first of all, I, again, understand the work that goes into what you're calling doodle is so, and then a pen, I don't even write in pen. I don't even do nothing in pen because I just always have to know that I can erase. This piece is beautiful, but the meticulous work is incredible. I have OCD too as well, so I know exactly what you're talking about, and you can see it. I can see it. The centralism and the same thing on the same side. I have that so bad, so I definitely see it. But I don't even know how you do that. And pen, is just, man, I'm just lost for words. That is incredible.
Thank you, Myron. Thank you.
And Paul Wagner said outstanding. And Allison Gibbons said amazing. Thank the both of you. Michael, what comes up for you when you see this piece?
Well, I have a lot of questions that come up for me because I'm all like, how do you do this? How do you make this happen? Excuse me. First thing though is I just think is gorgeous. Like I love the colors, the contrast. Like I love gold in general. Gold and black is one of my favorite color schemes. But like there's so much that's so symmetrical, and then there's also so much that's asymmetrical as well. And I think that your ability to blend those two styles together is really beautiful. And I like how you're able to make things so organic looking and feeling, at least to me, while using such hard angles and shapes and everything. So there's just so much that comes out at me when I look at this piece. And then of course I start wondering, like, why did you do this? Why did you choose that? But I'll hold off on that for now.
Hold it back. Crystal says stunning. I am mesmerized by the eyes. Thank you, Crystal. One thing that the story of doodling and OCD and all of that stuff really hit home with me. I started teaching last quarter. I taught last fall quarter Intro to Arts Leadership at Seattle University, and one of my students doodled during class, and I encouraged them to just communicate how they want to communicate in their journal. And she turned in all of these doodles for her journal reports each week. And then and they were amazing because it wasn't just the doodle and the image, but it was also, she had words and notes and all of that doing that. And she said that she thanked me because I was the first teacher that didn't get mad at her for doodling. And so, so when you said that this was your doodle, it reminded me of that student and everything that's beautiful about this piece, and how we have to let people be themselves when they create work or when they're doing anything in life. So thank you very much. And our friend Ray Aquino said, texture is so dope. Love the line work.
Thanks, Ray.
And I am wearing Ray. I just happen to be wearing Ray's shirt tonight. So thank you, Ray. Love you. And Ray's coming to us from DC. Appreciate it.
It's so funny with the doodling. When I was working, at the Boeing company, I would be in meetings and I would doodle. I would doodle on paper, and some people would think that I'm not listening or I'm distracted or whatever, but it really helped me to focus on what the person that was talking was saying and not be distracted by other conversations or other things that were going on. It was really helpful to me to do that. But people knew when they came into a meeting with me that I'm probably going to be doodling something, and people then started encouraging me. There was one young lady that was one of our top administrators, and she would always encourage me. She said, "Oh, your doodles are like art. You could do this, blah blah blah." And it was just a thing to help me focus. And then I started reading about it. Barack Obama doodled, and the Microsoft guy, Bill Gates doodled, and all of those smart people, they doodled, and it was something that helped them focus. It's not a distraction for people that do it. That's either they have a little bit of OCD or they're doing it for a purpose. So I started to appreciate it more.
Definitely. What you thinking, Michael?
Haha, I unmuted before I started talking. What am I thinking? I'm thinking I'm also a doodler. I doodle all the time. And people are always like, "Are you paying attention?" I'm like, yes, this is how I'm paying attention, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool beans. Well, thank you, Terrence, for your first piece that's rocked our world and our mind. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Myron, let's go to your first piece. What we got?
Ooh,
Woo.
wow.
What do you want to tell us about this piece, Myron? You're on mute right now, so make sure there you go.
Yeah. So this is my dog that I used to have. He was like my son. I love him to death. So this piece I did when I was incarcerated, and majority of my pieces I spent so much time, like, a lot of time on. And it's kind of like where I found out my creative and artistic ability, like it said in my statement. And I used to like really focus on realism, like how real can I make this picture look? Can I make it look so real that someone wouldn't know that this is a painting? And it's oil paint on watercolor paper. And it's weird because now that I've done airbrush, it kind of looks like airbrush because of the way you have the process of it. So basically, one of the coolest things about this style of artwork is that you can do a whole painting with like this much paint, like that little pinky part of paint. And you just put some black oil paint on a napkin and just get to work. And so it's a lot of meticulous back and forth. It's really what it is, dry brush. It's you using the brush, no water, no chemicals, nothing, and you're just working the paper. But a lot of it is shades, right? Shading. So there's not a like entire amount of straight dark black in there. So the paint lasts forever. Like you can literally do a whole paint, like I said, with that little. And I painted a lot of stuff that I loved and that things that I missed when I was down. So that was definitely one of them. And I felt it turned out real well. I have that painting in my bedroom right now. And this is cool to see my artwork evolve, but still knowing I have that ability. So yeah, and then I even tried to throw in a little color to see if I could do it, and it turned out good too. The eyes I did in color. So yeah,
That's stunning.
Thank you.
Wow. How big is that piece, Myron?
It's probably about 24 by 32,
Ooh, that's big.
something like that. Yeah, it's a decent size. And now it's framed, like I said, it's in my bedroom, and it's reminds me how much love I have for not just him, but for pit bulls and dogs in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I look forward to having another dog one day when I'm in a better situation where I can focus on raising a young child damn near, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of work, you know what I mean? And it's not just work, but a lot of love and time goes into that. So, and honestly, I painted that picture twice. I painted another one, but in full color in acrylic and sent it to my mom. That's a 24 by 36 painting I did. Matter of fact, I've been painting plenty of pictures of Dean, of my dog, truthfully. multiple,
Wow.
yeah.
What comes up for you, Terrence?
I mean, the size, large canvases are very intimidating to me. And to see what he did here with just oil paint and a canvas, and then the environment that he did this in is just amazing. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I like the realism in it. Um, can definitely see where you've come in your art. I mean, you have a lot of different skills and talents, and that all comes to play in whatever you do today. But this piece right here is just amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Lorinda Hawkins Smith says the eyes, and with that, Allison Givens says, ask the question, what expression were you going for with the captivating eyes?
Definitely for me, the first thing I learned when I was a little kid, I could they say you doodle. I used to draw. I used to draw like lowriders, this, that, all this stuff. I never could draw like people. Um, so as that's what made me start drawing again, because I was like, man, I seen some people do some drawings of. I mean, like I was blown back. So I was like, man, I could do that. I'm a do it. I'm gonna figure it out. So, but the eyes are the most. They're the window to the soul. And for anybody that knows pit bulls in general, or animals too, you know what I mean? But definitely pit bulls are so passionate. They're passionate. And that look is like, I see something, it could be him seeing me or seeing my mom or seeing, his buddy or something, but he sees it and he's like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? And he's completely focused. And I love that, I love the focus and the love. Like it's so strong and deep, that pit bulls have. And that's definitely the look. Like when you see him, you're like, oh, he sees something. If I'm standing there, he sees something. I might not could see it, but he sees something.
Mm-hmm.
He's interested.
Felicia Villau, she texted me and said she thought it was a photo. And then Paul Wagner said the same thing. Looks like a photograph. Very cool.
Thank
And then
you.
Sandra Briley said the use of oil on watercolor paper gives it a great feel. Why did you make that choice?
Truthfully, at the time, this is how I learned how to do that, right? So I seen a video on YouTube. We're not gonna go into all the detail because we know where I was at, but I seen a video and I seen these people doing this thing called dry brush, and they were saying they were using oil paint, but they were like erasing it and like doing certain stuff with it. And I was like, you can't erase paint, like in my mind. So so I was like, that's not true. So I bought some paint and I already had some watercolor paper, which gives it a lot of good, like it gives it texture, right? Because it's really thick. And I tried it. Like I literally tried it. And matter of fact, the first one I ever did, it was really ugly, but I did it in like 15 minutes. I'm sorry about walking through.
I know.
But this was the first one I ever did is right here. I was the first one I did, and I did it in
Okay.
like 15 minutes. And I was like, you can see the erase lines for the hair. And I was like, man, it erases. Like you can literally erase just like you would do charcoal or graphite. It erases and gives you that highlight, right? And I was like, wow. And I was on after that. I was like, man, this is crazy because the type of fade you can get and the shading you can get, it was like just so soft and like, or if you want to make it hard, you can make that transition, that contrast so hard and that depth. You really can't get that with a pencil because of the reflection of the graphite. With charcoal, you can get it, but it like comes off the paper and it's a mess. And I have OCD as well. So I was like, I just, I've done some charcoal, but I just couldn't stand the stuff everywhere. So this was my avenue. And once I learned how to do this, I was like, man, I was kind of in love with it for a while. For real. I still do it now just to brush up to make sure I still got it.
Mm. Wow.
What you thinking, Terrence?
I'm thinking I want to try that.
Yes.
Good.
I want to try that technique because it sounds interesting.
And again, the coolest thing is that I still got the same black oil paint tube from prison. I've still got that same. I've had it for 5 years. I've had that same thing of paint. I've done painted so many pictures with that same tube. That I'm literally, when I say this little bit of paint on a napkin, that's all you need. And you can save it as long as you cover it. And man, a whole painting. You can't beat that. You know what I mean? Like, and when you need to be conservative, like where I was at, it was very, very much a good benefit.
Crystal says, I see longing in the dog's eyes. Hearing you did this while incarcerated flips it for me as you're longing for missing your dog.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I guess if I feel like you had to have a dog. Like when you see a dog and it, like even on a toy, when it sees the toy, they're like focused. Like what I mean, if you're like this, the dog like this. Wherever you go with that toy, like so, that's that look. You know what I mean, like that where they're just like focused. And I live my life like that. Like, I tackle one project at a time. But I handle it, and whatever it is, like the event, and then come the day, whatever it is, I was nervous, I was all this stuff, but I just just go, and we could be nervous later and worry about it later. Just just do it, with full passion and focus. So that's they inspire me. Pit bulls, love them to death.
My dad just texted me and he was like, wait a minute, is this Storm? Which was my pit bull that I had. And no, Pops, it's not Storm. But I am going to have Myron do me a picture of Storm and Duchess and Jada, my brother's dog that had passed away. My brother introduced me to pits, and then he sent me. I got my first pit from my brother, and now I have Duchess. But I love those dogs, and I just love the I see that in every dog that I've had. I see that look, and you feel so, you be like, don't be giving me that look because you wrong. You wrong. Don't be giving me that look. But the realism of this, and I have a postcard because you have postcards that you give out with this image on it, and every time I see it, it makes me really, really I just love it. Michael, what does this do for you?
I love this piece. And when I first saw this, I also was one of those people who was like, "Is that a photograph? Is that a photograph?" Something, Myron, that you are able to do, and you mentioned this earlier when you talked about realism. You are able to create such realistic, not just colors, but depth and shape and texture and everything. So where, as a photographer, as somebody who practices photography and stares at photographs all the time, I look at your work and I go, "Is that a photograph?" It it is. It's beautiful. Like I love the like the eyes for one, the eyes similar to a photograph tend to just really pop when they're focused on the eyes, and then also you're able to really fade that depth. It looks like a photograph in that you have the faces in focus, and then it gradually fades out in the background and everything to lose some of that focus. And in doing so, I think you have a really three-dimensional looking piece right here that I mean, I've never been somebody who knows how to draw, so I'm always in awe anyway when I see somebody draw anything like this. But but like there's just so much emotion, feeling, passion, and everything in this in just a few shades. And I think that's beautiful. And also when you speak about the amount of paint that was required to make this happen, it reminds me of a lot of outside of art, just in general. When I think about who we are as people, how we've been able to do so much with limited resources and everything. And I think that oftentimes we as humans can come up with excuses like, oh, I didn't have this, or I didn't have that, or I didn't have this, or I couldn't afford this. And to be able to do that with a pinky sized amount of paint, I think is just incredible, and stands on its own as an art piece, and also serves as I mean, I'll speak for myself, it's very inspiring for me to not let any kind of limitations hold me up. So that's what's coming up for me.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I love hearing this is what it's about. Because I want people to feel something, you know what I mean? Like I just want to draw that emotion, and because I'm feeling it, and that's it. Y'all did it for me, you know what I mean? For real. That's all. I wanted you to feel that. That's a lot of love. I think you're on mute.
This daggone cough got me keep muting myself. Thank you, Myron. That is awesome. Let's Terrence, your second piece. Let's take a look.
Okay, so this piece right here, this is another larger piece. Well, not as large as what Myron does, but it's about 18 by 24. It's watercolor, acrylic, and I think I have some acrylic pen in here on watercolor paper. And this piece right here was painted at a time where I was internally having some challenges with a new job. And I'm not sure if, well, I'm sure everybody knows how sometimes when you go to a new job, there's stress, you got to learn new things, there's problems and things like that that go on. And I had a discussion with my wife one night, and basically the conversation came to be, well, whatever happens, I got your back. So that's the name of this piece, I Got Your Back. And it just, I created it to show that we as Black men and women, when you're in a relationship with a partner, they're there to support you. They are there to have your back in whatever situation that you're going to be in. And I've been married over 40 years and met my wife in college. We've known each other probably almost 50 years. And it's just, to me, when I created this, it was just something that I wanted to express to let myself know that my wife is always going to be there, standing beside me or behind me to protect me and to pray for me and to just be that kind of godly woman that sticks by her man, basically. So that was the impetus of this particular piece. And again, it's watercolor, acrylic, pen and ink, And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Brenda says the colors, exclamation points. And
Yeah.
Nicole says heart, heart, heart. Love,
Mm.
love. Myron, what jumps out at you when you see this piece?
First, the piece is dope. You know what I mean? Like she said, the colors is dope, and the background, like people don't really get it. Like that's a lot of work right there. You know what I mean? It's intricate, but the meaning behind it is very special, and I can kind of see now more so when people that are collecting art, or they are interested in art, um the story behind it, right? And the journey behind the actual piece, and that is a beautiful story. And it's touching, and but I really love all the like the intricate detail, is like, just because I know how time consuming that is. And it's like I admire that. It is very beautiful. The colors are beautiful. The intricate designs is beautiful, and that's a lot of work. Definitely.
Thanks, Myron. Allison says, I see the creative love, support, connection with the doodles on his face and the doodle in her eyebrow. Terrence, like, yeah. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
So I was just saying, it's interesting when, as an artist, when you do an art piece, you might have one thing that you're thinking, and that's the challenge I always have when people say, "Well, what were you thinking when you did that?" Because it might say something entirely different to somebody else, and I wouldn't want to discount what they're seeing and what they're feeling through the piece, you know. And if I tell them, like I described in this piece, what it is, then they're forever going to be thinking that that's what it is, and they're not going to let their imagination flow and think, what does it say to them. So I'm always reluctant to identify or give a direction or say that's what this piece is and that's what I was thinking, et cetera, because I want people to use their own imagination and get from it what it says to them. But it's hard because people are art. I mean, people that collect art and that appreciate art, they always want to know what the artist was thinking.
Yeah, one of the things about doing art, no matter what type of art you do, right, is once you release it to the public, then they can make up this. They can tell their story and their connection to it, and that's what we want. Um, and but it's also sometimes it's hard because you're like, I might write a piece and I'll be like, no, but that's not what I was saying. But that's okay because once you release it to the public, it's for interpretation, and it becomes all of ours and what everything that we see. Sandra Brierly says the differing gaze of the two figures seems to be part of the story. Can you speak to that?
Sure. So the piece that's most forward, and I mean, it could be a guy or a girl, but the piece that's most forward, the gaze is one of focus. And I was at that time pretty focused on the new job that I had. And that particular gaze was a straightforward looking, very focused, honed in, tunnel vision on the job. Whereas the figure behind is more, the gaze is more my thoughts when I was doing is more of a gaze of support and love for the person in front. So one is more of a focused gaze, and the other one is more of a loving, supportive kind of look, uh, with the purpose, um, letting that person know that basically I got your back. We can make it through this.
Thank you, Michael.
Is that sky in the hair in the head of the most forward piece?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of the things that keeps drawing my attention is as somebody who identifies as a dreamer. So of course, I don't know what your intention necessarily is there, but for me, I see somebody who is focused and also focused on something big, and I think that's cool. Also, one of the first things that pops out to me are the cheekbones. I love the cheekbones, and I like the story. Similarly, is really important to me. Also, the white border around this, to me, reminds me very much of a Polaroid, and that combined with the way that you've infused this piece with elements of your identity, like the doodles in the face and in the eyebrow and thing, but especially in the face of the character, the person that I think you're saying you identify with here, is I just think it's really special to see you put yourself in the piece in a way that doesn't feel necessarily autobiographical, but representative of you, but also can serve as an archetype. But with the white border and those doodles and everything, it makes it feel approachable and casual in a way, while also being so meticulous. So that's a lot of what's coming up for me. I really like all your work. I really like it a lot. I also love the way that the color creates a lot of contrast. All right, Sharon, I see you smiling and whatnot. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking. I would ask you what you think, but I'm gonna give you a pass since you've been coughing and whatnot.
I was smiling because I love your insight.
I know.
And but yeah, I really do love your insight. And I love that, like, and I was also thinking as you was talking, like how this is taking Terrence out of his comfort zone.
Uh-huh.
So it was really
Only for you.
like Terrence is like, oh my God, please let this be over. And so that's what I was really thinking about. Like Terrence is like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and listen.
Oh, in that case, I'm gonna keep going then. We get just,
make them uncomfortable.
man.
So it's funny that you caught the sky, and also her hair is like the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of meshed some elements of nature in there, just because I wanted to.
Were you listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire when you painted that piece?
Allison said, the hard cracked glass looking background feels to me like the job shit in shades of purple. Her deep purple lips are saying, I'll kiss the bullshit away because I got you. Yes. And then Allison says, I also love the orange spike hair. And then she brought in Coolio. I say that all the time. First of all, I love Allison. Let's give Allison props. Yes, Allison. And then Mira came in and said the supportive character is a fire sign. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh wee.
Wow.
Shaking shit up.
Wow.
Yes. Thank
We're selling Shakin Shit Up ringtones for 99 cents a download. Just
That's
don't play. That's an idea. Oh, thank you, Terrence. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Myron, what's your next piece?
There we go.
oh,
Can you
It's
flip it?
sideways, but
I can't rotate it yet. I'll
it's
work on that
okay.
in the background. Go ahead, and I'll
Don't
work
even
on that in the
trip.
background.
I got you. I got you. This is my fun time, right? Because I'm serious about getting stuff done and whatnot. But I actually have that's one of my favorite pieces that I have right here, as you can
Ah,
see.
there it
what I mean?
is.
That is one of my favorite pieces. Music feeds the soul, period. I mean, as black folks, we know that. Like, I mean, whether rain, sleet, or snow, uh, horror story, whatever it is, we gonna groove to it. We gonna get through it. Because we're resilient people. You know what I mean? But people in general, that is something that I need, like, to as my therapeutic, thing is doing art, but it's music too. Like, I gotta have my music on. Like, if I don't have my music on and I'm doing art, it'll just don't be working. And you'd be like, man, what? And I'll be like, what is it? Oh, I ain't got my music on. I light a candle and I got my music and I'm on. And I got an old soul, So Etta James is, I mean, like, feeds the soul. So many other, classic soul singers and blues. I love, like, a lot of different genres of music, but um, the ones that really touch me and it's weird because as you grow older, you learn that wasn't just like, you didn't just be like, oh, I like this. It was, you was raised with it. So, like, when I was a kid, my grandpa would listen to, BB King or, like Ray Charles, just so many, like Howlin' Wolf and just some, man, my grandpa 91 years old, first of all. And so some of the stuff is so old that on YouTube, you could hear the record like playing, like,
cracking.
you know what I mean? But I be knowing the songs, and I be like, how I know the song? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. But it's because my grandpa was a musician. He used to play, the guitar, the harmonica. He used to sing. So, I feel like with us, it's kind of like in us, and it's just very therapeutic for me. You know what I mean? Like, that got me through a lot of challenging times. Along with my art was music. So I definitely have a large share of my artwork is musicians, and good musicians, whether black, white, or whatever. Even though we have very talented and groundbreaking musicians, but like, I got a painting of Santana up here, right? And it's weird because a lot of people be like, is that Santana? Yep. You know what I mean? Like, that man make a guitar sing like BB. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that man, it's undisputed. He do his thing.
Yeah.
And you could feel it. You know what I mean? So to me, their art craft was music, and they made you feel it, just like my art. So that was and this was a piece of it, right? So, and this was a transition of me trying to, like I told you before, my art at the beginning was like realism. And it was like, okay, I got that locked in, but I had so much, I want my art to be like creative. And like I really admired like all these people that just did like, like abstract, like colors, and like it just looked dope and still good, but it still had all this stuff in it. And it was like, wow, like, you know what I mean? So I started playing with it, you know what I mean? Like, and my thing is, like, when a lot of people ask me like, oh, how you do this, how you do that, I didn't have a plan. I just literally paint the background with colors first, and then I just start getting down on my piece, and it just comes together like how it come together, you know what I mean? And that was me kind of finding my groove in spontaneous realism, which is like kind of like an abstract, whether it be in design or color, but still have the realism touch to it. And I don't know, I just really fell in love with that picture. And then I love those frames too, like that, those real like like classic, frames like that, so I definitely made sure it was framed in a good frame. And
What's
that
the medium you use, Myron?
acrylic paint.
This is acrylic. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow. Thank you, Myron. What is it saying to you, Terrence?
Well, I knew right away that was Etta James because that's in kind of my generation. It the realism, I could see the realism really working with the colors too, and knowing that it's acrylic. Acrylic is kind of, to me, acrylic is kind of hard to work with a little bit, and that's all I use really. And I say that because it dries so fast. You can paint over it, but it's not like oil. Oil, if you're doing a straight oil, not like the other ones that Myron was showing, but a straight oil, you have time to change the shapes and change the picture a little bit. But I know with acrylics, once you put it down, that's pretty much where it's going. Um, and I love the transition, the shading. Uh, the piece of green in the eye, the left or right eye. It's just that shading with the colors is just amazing. And the fact that you started with the background first, that's even more interesting because I know with me, I typically start with the primary portrait and then add the background later. But starting with the background, that gives you more of a sense of where you want to go with your colors too. So I could see how that would work. Definitely. Amazing piece. Amazing piece.
thank you. I really appreciate it. It does. Background situations, I used to have problems with that. Like I would be like, it looks plain. I used to get so angry. Like my art might look, the person looks good, but the background would be. I hated that. Like that, your pieces were like super intricate. Like wow. Like I'm like that is the ticket, right? And um, a tip that I learned from somebody was like they paint backwards forward, but when you do the whole background first, it's already there. You know what I mean? Like, so you just go on to work. Like, I just
Mhm.
work with like how it seems where I can get what I'm trying to do across. Unless I'm painting something like I've been painting these 12 mural projects and it's like scenery and this and that and there's people in it and they're doing activities and so you literally have to easiest to layer it from what's in the back to what's in the front and sometimes
Mm.
things are on the side so it's like the overlap and this and that so that's why it's easier because that way for me when I'm in my process and so if this is in the back and this is in the front so if I paint this first and I go a little bit over this what's in the front it's okay because now when I do this one I can push out the stuff and it'll overlap that and it's all right because
Yeah.
it's in front so you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, and I could see technique wise. My problem always with backgrounds is because of the way I do it, they always look like it's. I don't want to. I guess the only term I can use it looks kind of fake, like you added it afterwards. Where you're trying to paint around the figure and get your strokes around. Whereas if you did the almost entire background first, like you're saying, moving backwards or forward, it just organically smooths or makes the portrait fit right in there.
Yeah, the perception, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I
Like
like.
I'll give an example. So this behind me is a piece that I'm doing for the project, and there's like 10 thousand trees, and it was killing me, literally. But I'm doing it, right? And so like all these trees. I'm sorry, it's hard to like see because it's on the floor. But there's a lot of trees. There's so many trees, and I'm sorry because it's hard to like get the thing, but it's like there's layers. There's layers and layers and layers, and the only way I started just at the top and then just started doing like the top trees, and then I could paint over whatever the bottoms and go more and more and more to where everything like comes to the front. But it was challenging, like less work though to me if I do it that way. So that's why I do it like that.
Awesome. Mira said Etta James in acrylic and rainbow in a gold frame. And I think she meant to add mic drop. Yes, I like it. Michael, what comes up for you?
First thing that comes up for me is the background is amazing. And I love the way like the way I don't like to use the term subject, but the way Etta James, because Etta James is a person, pops out of this portrait in such it's just incredible how you have like even in the background with paint, you do this thing that has this depth that feels like it's defocused, and then Etta James is so sharp and clear. It almost feels to me like a composite image where there's a background and then also a picture glued on the front rather than like painted onto the front. And then I'm also loving how, especially knowing about your process a little bit, like the background being done first, the green, and I know nobody can see my mouse cursor right now, but I'm hovering over the green in the hair and the green in the background, and like how you have the background first, but then also have some of that green into the hair and everything. It's as if there are some gels in the almost like in a photograph to create this kind of this look and everything. And I think it's beautiful, and I feel like when I think about what Etta James has contributed to the field of music, into just art in general, into the world, I can't be the one to judge whether or not she would think that you're doing her justice. But when I look at this, my interpretation is I hope that she would be proud, because I'm proud looking at this piece. And I'm also loving another thing that's standing out to me right now about this episode in general is I'm loving the love that the two of you, Terrence and Myron, are showing each other throughout on your pieces, and then also your process and everything. So yeah,
definitely.
I'm feeling
All
this.
day.
Oh,
Thank you.
Lori Skinner says, "Oh my God, that looks great." Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Lori. Thank you. Thank you, Myron, for sharing that with us. So we're about to hit the last images from each artist. I just want to say, as we bring Terrence back up, Terrence is constantly posting every day, as he said, on his Instagram page. So please go and follow Terrence at Terrence Smith 58 at Instagram, and that's where you can DM him and bug him about buying some of his work and all.
Other things we need help with Terrence is we not.
We need Terrence. I need you to stay on Terrence about his website. I need you to stay on Terrence about everything. Getting some Cash App, Venmo, all that, so we can support him. But please continue to support Mr. Terrence Smith. And Mr. Terrence Smith, what is the last piece you have for us tonight?
So this is Black Love, and it is kind of a ode to Matisse. If you guys know that artist, Matisse, one of my favorites. and it's acrylic and watercolor on I think watercolor paper, and so it's the black figure in the middle is intertwined, two lovers intertwined, and that is black enamel acrylic, so it's kind of shiny when you see that in person. And then the background uh, is basically watercolor images, different shapes. Again, with the doodling and the OCD in my head, it's just a conglomeration of different shapes, different colors that help to create the piece. But when I was doing this, I wanted to create something that expressed Black love to me. And that's what I did with this piece. Again, this one is probably about 16 by 24, not too big, but good size. And people seem to respond to this. I have made some prints of this at one time that people bought, but I think that's about it. Again, an ode to Black love.
Allison says Matisse is a bad boy, but man, love your take on this. It's beautiful and sensual.
Thank you, Allison.
Myron, what does Black love say to you?
Okay. First, the colors are like bold to me, so that's how we get down, right? Like a pit bull, passionate. You know what I mean? The love shines through strong. And then I love the strength of the two people intertwined, right? And to me, again, another bold contrast. And I don't know, it's so smooth. I admire that. Like I haven't been able to kind of simplify an illustrative like kind of like that. And right away I knew exactly what it was, like but don't want to say, is that what that is? But hearing you say it like right away, I received what you were putting down, and I love the boldness, like I said, and the contrast of the colors and the image in the middle, though. Like, I would like to have something like that on my wall for real. And to be honest with you, I don't even have no other art on my wall besides mine, but I'd like to have that one. I'm definitely gonna come check your website out and check your Instagram out, and, along with being supportive. I look forward to kind of seeing more of your journey and more of your artwork, man. And I like your signature too. Your signature is cool. Like I never figured out to do a cool signature that like looks, like a logo. Mine just be like my regular ass right of my name. But I always wanted to do so. I like your signature. I was noticing on the other paintings. I was like, oh, that's dope. Like, so yeah, definitely. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Michael B. Maine.
Sharon Nyree Williams, what's coming up for you? Oh, coffin coming up for you? Okay, all right. I see how it is. How convenient. How convenient. Oh man, Terrence, I am I have one of your pieces on my wall and you told a story about Sharon buying a piece when she was judging that first show that you were in, and I call that my happiness wall, because every piece up there is from somebody that I've met, and a lot of the work I do is relatively heavy and everything, and so it's nice to sit back and look at work that makes me happy, and for a number of different reasons. And like, your work makes me happy because your work is gorgeous and it means something. And it makes me even happier when I know more about your story and why you were coming home and doodling and drawing, and makes me even happier to know that you're still doing it and you're doing it every day and you're practicing and growing and consistently trying new things. And even in this episode, you're over here talking about I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. And when I look at this piece, when I look at Black Love, there is, first of all, just the title of it is special to me. And I think like my mother is probably still watching right now. She'll probably leave a comment and be like, "Yes, baby, I'm still watching." But like my mother is watching it. And and sometimes when we get off of the, when we finish up an episode, she'll call or I'll call her sometimes, and she'll talk about how she appreciates this space and how this is like medicine and a gift for her. And it's a gift to me when I see a depiction of joy, love, happiness, especially in the Black community, and so vibrant and bold and beautiful, is just really special. And I could try to do my best to break it down technically and tell you what I like and everything, what I appreciate. But really, at the end of that, I'm really just going to come around and just say, I think it's a gorgeous piece coming from a beautiful person. And I'm glad that you're contributing in the way that you're contributing, and thanks for sharing it with us. And this is also a piece that I would like to have in my home. So I might have to slide up in your DMs and see about getting me another piece. All right, Sharon. Now that you not, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Terrence.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay, cool.
And Michael, Mama Maine did say, "I am here."
Mm-hmm.
and Allison has blessed us with another great comment. The abstraction of the two lovers with the cacophony of colors and shapes in the background says, "Love is beautiful and infinite in its possibilities."
Are we gonna have Allison on the show? Because I mean, this poetry,
right?
like Allison got bars over here.
Allison is my sister-in-law,
Ah,
so I can put you in contact with her.
Cool.
and Allison says Chris is in the house and a big fan.
That's my brother.
Yeah,
what's up, Chris?
that is awesome. So awesome. For me, when you said it was Black love, it's just one of those topics that I think in society doesn't get enough respect. That it does happen and it is a viable thing in the Black community is Black love. And they're always, when you hear them talk about the Black community and how we move, they talk about the single mother and things of that nature, and they rarely want to talk about the love that exists in our community. And so it makes me happy to see an expression of something that I see time and time again in our community, not just in this piece, but also in the other pieces that you've shown. You've talked about your wife, and that is, for me, one of the best things that can come out of this experience is showing folks that Black love is true, Black love is real, and it's attainable in whatever form that you want to attain it. And so, and the coloring and your mastery and how you put that together is just stands on its own and doesn't really give me a lot of words other than thank you for for showing that Black love is real and it's in our community.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Queen, thank you.
Thank you. And if anybody want to call me, I'm on now. Swipe left, swipe. No, I'm good. But thank you, Terrence. Thank you. Don't forget to go to Terrence's IG page, Terrence Smith 58, to support him and his work. And he really does respond to all your comments when you make comments about his work and things of that nature. And then he'll keep you posted on his website and his next shows. But you just did a show, right, Terrence?
There was, yeah, I had a couple pieces in actually two places. It first started out at Onyx Gallery in Seattle, and then that show moved to Everett to the Shack, and great response there. Great response. There's some artists that I really love. I'm sure you guys know Vincent Keel and some other artists that their work is just amazing. And it was an honor to be in a show with them. They curated that show in Everett really, really nicely. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to that gallery in Everett, but it's amazing space. It's
Mhm.
called the Shack.
Awesome. Thank you. And we look forward to hearing more about your shows and you selling work and and hearing about you being on other shows and talking about your work. That's gonna be so awesome. I'm gonna smile every time I see you.
What's the IG site again?
Terrence
Terrence.
Smith 58.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Here it is for everybody else as well.
There
And
you
then I just want to say for the record, Allison said that I have a beautiful smile and laugh.
You do
Thank you,
cosign,
You
Allison.
cosign,
do.
cosign.
You
Yeah.
do.
Thank you,
You're
Allison.
a beautiful person.
Hmm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Uh Myron, what is your last piece for us tonight?
Wow.
Yes. Okay. So this was a mural I did for Aspen Terrace, which is um a housing um building for um previously incarcerated veterans, mental health, you know, individuals, and it's low income. So to me, that's my folks. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up in a struggle. I mean, just to keep it 100, like I know everybody doesn't know me, but I grew up in like the Central District and yes, the Terrace. It wasn't like, super project, whatever, when you live there. That's my community. That's my people. I was raised there, and um but there's struggles, you know what I mean? And being about the struggle and understanding the struggle, kind of my artwork, I come to find I have a lot of pride and it shines through um in my artwork, to be able to kind of like um contribute to the environment of myself and my people, right? So this is in the building in the front, as soon as you come in the Aspen Terrace building, and it's a mural, and it's actually bigger than what is depicted here. But it was like at a weird, like there's only so much space you could go back and take the picture. So in this, the theme of this artwork was um support and nurture, right? Because Pioneer is social service, so it's like Pioneer Human Services, but they also have like a nonprofit and a for-profit department. They do a lot of work for the community, a lot of work for reentry, like real work, like providing jobs and housing and this and that. And this is one of their new housing facilities. And it was more than me just painting on the wall, right? Like I definitely painted like several different things for them to choose from. And then later on after this, actually, I painted two big, huge paintings to go on each floor. So it equaled up to be like 12 more paintings on each floor. Um, but it was me like literally um, kicking it with the people that live there. You know what I mean? I mean, the veterans that maybe experience PTSD just as well as other people that has been previously incarcerated or been on the streets that experience PTSD. And we don't really, I feel like a lot of people that be in it don't feel like that, but it is that when you have trauma from some environments or situations, and it's just naturally you, but that's trauma, you know, and people don't really get it, or even themselves. Like myself, I was like, I ain't traumatized, I'm good. But still, there's certain ways I move and certain things I do and a certain way I interact, which is precautionary and um because of my, you know, the things I've experienced. So to me, this was like basically the butterflies and the cocoon and the caterpillar. So shows like depicts transition, right? And transition because a lot of these people um are trying to get stabilized in their life. And in this building, I have to say, like, this is what makes me feel like my projects are such a blessing. So not only is it like, you know, like I said, for, you know, previously incarcerated, for veterans, for mental health, for, you know, just people struggling, like, you know, financially or whatever, but they have these tools here to support. So, and I've been lived in halfway house and all these different things, so I know how it is. I know what it's like to travel on a bus for 2 hours to go to a program to, you know, learn how to do like a resume or a class for this or a life skills class and all, you know what I mean? So you'd be on a bus all day doing this. So this place has in-house organizations, but in-house. So they have like a computer spot for people to come down and do resumes or do whatever, or look up bus routes or whatever it is stuff they need to do. They have counseling that comes there. They have all this stuff that's just, like I said, in-house. So I definitely let it be known to those folks that live there how blessed they really were. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people feel like, you know, in a certain situation, they kind of be down on themselves. But I'm like, man, you winning. They had none of this where I was traveling, doing whatever. So, you know, you really winning. And not only that, we making this environment dope for you. Like, we're going to paint something real cool. So they were like kind of a part of it. I even let some of them help me paint it. I was like, here, go and grab some to paint. Because like I said, I did the same thing as I did in my paintings on my murals. So I just did the background. So I'm like, go ahead, grab some paint. Just I don't care. Like, just put some yellow over there. You know what I mean? And they're kind of scared. And then slap it on there. You know, so I painted the whole background first. You know, and the butterflies and caterpillars and the transition, you know, that explains transition. And her holding the butterfly is kind of like support and nurturing, right? And then I felt like kind of using a beautiful, you know, woman kind of in a cultural, you know, aspect, especially because, you know, this is where we at in Seattle, and kind of gave a softness of it, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it takes a little bit of organic ease to kind of nurture someone or make them feel um, comfortable to be able to share what type of help they need. You know, and that's I learned that from personal experience, you know, myself from receiving help, and then also with helping many others, is that you create a connection. And without that connection or them feeling comfortable, they're not going to share with you and open up to you and tell you what they need. And then, you know, we can't help them, you know what I mean? So I always share my story, you know what I mean? And let them know, like, I've been through it, everything that you probably been through. And I'm trying to get you all the support and resources that I can to help. So that was my vision for this mural here.
Nice.
Miss Allison said, as soon as it came up, she said, "Ooh la la." And then Nicole threw out some info for us. You can watch Myron paint in time lapse paintings on his YouTube, M. Curry Designs. This piece was on the evening news. You keeping secrets, Myron?
No, it was a while ago. I mean, you know, it was on the news, and it was like my first time. I think I was talking to Michael B about this yesterday. Like, all of it came like on the same month. I had never like really done like news stuff or interviews and videos, and it was like literally 3 a week, sometimes 2 a day, and I just, like I said, I just let's go. Like, okay, I'm nervous. Okay, whatever. But the key to me is that I'm comfortable with the individuals involved. It makes it seem organic and where I feel comfortable enough to go through it without feeling like, you know what I mean? And I know there's not going to be like no blindsided stuff going on, or, you know what I mean? So, it's like, I always was really focused on how it feels. And just like doing this here with you guys, it felt comfortable, good, natural, like no question. Yes. You know what I mean? And I'm show up.
No
And,
doubt.
you know,
Terrence, what does this piece say to you?
Wow. So when I first saw it, I thought it was canvas, but then I saw the side and saw it kind of, it's like a mural. Murals are, for me, I'm in awe of people that could do murals because they seem so, the depth and how you see the artwork up front that big, it's all very mysterious to me. So people that can do these murals, I'm always in awe of that. And when I first looked at the face, it looked like Rihanna, but then it looked like someone else. But I don't think that matters as much as the theme with the cocoons and the butterflies. And if Ray is still on, she knows that that resonates with us and the project we're working in. It's amazing how the story that you're telling from the metamorphosis of the cocoon to the loving holding the butterfly in the hand, which she could very well easily crush by closing her hand, but she's lovingly taking care of it. It's just amazing, and the facility that it's in, it speaks volumes. I mean, it's kind of like a wellness facility, so it I love it. The colors, everything that we said previously is in this piece. The colors, the background, the realism, the eyes. And I'm big on lips, so I really like those lips.
Yes. Allison said, I like the detail of the caterpillar framing the signage. This powerful image says life's, as always, changing. Hold close to your hope, peace, openness, and steadfast as you go through your transition.
Mm, yes, yes, very well said.
Nicole also wanted people to know that Seattle College made a videotape of you painting this piece as well.
oh, they
Um,
did, yeah.
so hit Myron up on one of his socials to get more info on that. And then and Crystal said butterflies represent beautiful growth in my trans community. Her holding one shows the treasure of the final true form. And
Mm.
Mama Maine said, such talented and inspirational artists. Thank you so much for sharing your stunning and beautiful works of art. Absolutely amazing.
It's my
Um,
pleasure.
Yes, this was fun.
and uh, E. Marshall says, stunning piece. And I love your picture, E. Marshall. Stunning piece. Michael, what do you have to say? What's coming up for you on this piece?
Real quick, one second. I want to bring up Crystal's comment again because I accidentally pulled it down without giving people a chance to read it. So I want to make sure that stays up there for a few moments. The thing that comes up for me, well, first of all, I think in as a as an institution, art can be preoccupied, I feel, with bringing people to the art. And one of the things that I really love about murals and muralists is that there's a strong focus on bringing the art to the people. And I think that you, with this piece, you physically bring art to the people, and then you also bring art to the people in something that the people here can really relate to, that everybody can relate to, but especially the folks that you're talking about being your community. And so I think the piece is beautiful. I like what it represents, what it means. I also, there's something about that butterfly being in the hand that shows, to me anyway, that reflects a very gentle yet firm caring and nurturing of something, because a butterfly is so, they're just so delicate. So to be in a hand and also have its wings up like that, I think it just shows just how how considered this person is in this piece. And also the gaze in the eyes is so focused. It shows to me a real sense of presence that I think is beautiful. So I'll stop waxing. I love the, I love the piece. I just love the piece. I love all this work tonight. And just like every night, I think is gorgeous.
Yes, everything is gorgeous. I love this piece. For me, it brings up my niece who passed away at the age of 18. Butterflies was her thing, and as soon as I seen the butterfly in the hand, it sparked so many emotions for me. And then just seeing, and even though this young lady doesn't look anything like my niece, I saw my niece in this piece, and so thank you for that, and for not shying away from your story
Mm.
and knowing the importance of sharing your story with others so that they too can be inspired. I really do appreciate that. And I just want to tell everyone to support Myron. Um, you can go to Instagram. Ouch! I just hit my finger. Instagram at m.curry designs. You can also go check out his website at mcurrydesigns.com. Um, so we'll let y'all get that in, take that in, and then there's different ways to support artists financially as well. Drop them $5 or 50 cents at Myron Curry.1 on Venmo, on Cash App, money sign 10 billion MC, and also on Zelly, m.currydesigns at gmail.com. And and artists haven't asked you to do anything for them. We ask, as the host of Shakin Shit Up, because we know of the grind and and what it takes. And one way to show someone that you appreciate them is to sow into their gift. So we ask that you do this. And Myron, you have something coming up that you wanted to share with the people today. Michael has the poster for you. Tell us about it.
Let's see. This will always be forever. I don't care how successful I ever am in life. This will always be my most sentimental, most meaningful experience ever. This is one of the murals on 23rd and Union in the Midtown Square, on the Midtown Square building. It's on the 23rd side, facing on the east side of 23rd Avenue, right before the intersection. There's 4 murals on there. It was the first time me ever doing spray paint. It was a little bit, I was anxiety and really just spun for a second trying to get my drawing on the wall. But once I did that, it was over with. Not like I never spray painted before. I tried it and I did the first face like in one day. I was just there at like, I think they let us come in there like 6:30 or something in the morning. And as soon as I got the drawing in there, got the working, and I didn't want to leave. It was closing up the gate and like, hey, you got to go. And I was like, man, I think it's like 6 in the evening or something, you know. And I was like, all right. And I was like, I see some little touches I could do. But again, man, so why this means so much to me, first of all, is I'm from Seattle. I'm from the Central District. My grandpa still lives there. I understand the struggle. I understand the loss of community. I even understand capitalism and the situation of gentrification and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, we got to make shit work, right? And so I felt blessed to be a part of what this stands for. And to me, this stands for one thing: unity. The community is able to see this artwork, learn about the history of Seattle and the Central District. And what are they going to do? Talk about it. So now they have a public place to view the art and not only learn about, the history, but also talk to each other about it, right? So now we can actually start to grow a community once again. And a lot of the people maybe have trauma from being displaced from the Central District at this point. And honestly, like my grandpa being one of them, like he still lives there, but he got a reverse mortgage. It's $500,000 buyback to buy his house back, and all this. So I'm navigating all this stuff, but I'm like, I know there's other people that they don't even have that opportunity or they haven't figured it out yet. So we learning and building and sharing resources and together. But I want the people that love this community that may not even be there right now to still come and be like, this is my community. And you know what? It's a place for healing too. So because we've all had special experiences there. Like I said, that's just one of them. And I did it the same way, same process. I put a bunch of colors on the wall first and then got down. But the first one was Edwin Pratt and D. Charlene. The second one was the Langston Hughes Performing Arts Center with Langston Hughes. This one was the third one, which was Jimi Hendrix and Ernestine Anderson. And the last one was, of course, the youth, which is our future. And people, the ones that we really have to guide and show a lot of love and encouragement to. And it says Central District Community Love, because that's what it represents for me. And the theme for this whole project, not just me included, but other artists as well, was reverence and discovery of the Central District and Seattle as a whole, and the culture of Black art. So, yeah, I'm loving it, loving to be a part of it.
Amazing.
Thank you. You're on mute.
Miss Jazz set it off for us with the hand clap. Yes, it's amazing work. And please, if you're in Seattle, ride through 23rd and Union and see this amazing work that is up there. The whole thing is beautiful.
Man, you got park. Don't even ride through. Park your car. and I'm telling you, because you're gonna get in an accident. I mean, I'm telling people when I was doing it, people honking, they stopping, and I'm yelling, and just park. Just go ahead and park. Get out, soak it all in, walk through. It's an experience, and it's gonna be more of an experience when it's fully open. There's gonna be great, cultural art facilities, stores, food, events, everything. It's gonna definitely be a big experience for Washington as a whole and Seattle as a whole, and definitely for the Central District as a community. So I look forward to that.
Cool. And Allison said, inspiring. You have taught me more about the Central District and the Black roots of Seattle. Ooh.
All I would like to do.
And Paul said, amen. That is amazing. Thank you. Thank you both, Terrence. Thank you, Myron. Thank you, Michael B. Maine. Thank you for the entire audience and for the conversation that we had today. It's about the art, but it's about our messages, our voices, and our artists. And however we can continue to support these two artists, please do so, because they're doing some amazing things. And this isn't what people talk about every day. And so I'm excited. The first episode of Shakin Shit Up for season 3 was fire, just like I imagined. And Terrence and Myron, don't y'all go anywhere. The next episode will be on April 14th. You can tune in to @Shakin Shit Up on our Instagram page. If you want more information, or anywhere I am, Sharon Irie Williams, as well. And for more information about Shaking Shit Up, Michael, can you? Oh, and I want to thank Robert James. Robert James is a friend of mine out of Houston. He called me and said, "What do you need support with?" And I was like, "He's like, what you got going on?" I was like, "Shaking Shit Up," and he dropped a donation for Shaking Shit Up to me at the moment. So our first donation for Shaking Shit Up, I have gotten from Robert James. So I want to say thank you, RJ, for that. We're going to set up some ways that people can sew into Shaking Shit Up in the future. Wasn't able to do it. E. Marshall said, amazing conversation. Thank you. Allison gave us all kind of emojis. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got you, Allison. Appreciate it. I hope Terrence and Myron that this experience has been good for you, and I hope that you continue to talk with each other as y'all move through this space of being artists. Um, any last words from anybody, Michael,
Sure. I
Terrence?
before Michael goes, I just want to thank you and Michael, and tell Myron that it was an honor to share this stage with him. Um, this has been a great experience. Not what I thought. It was much better than I thought. It was so comfortable. It was just like talking to some old friends, about the artwork, and I know that's how you guys want it to be. And I can only say for you, Sharon, and you, Michael, you guys were there at the beginning of this journey for me, and I appreciate you both for embracing me and for letting me share your platform. And Myron, we're gonna have to go to lunch sometime. I'll take you out to lunch, and we can talk about art or something. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
last words, Myron, before Michael goes? Because Michael gonna drop some stuff on us, and we're gonna be like, "Okay, that's it."
I was going, I'm being patient. I exercise that discipline and patience as much as I can. It's harder when I like Terrence said, very comfortable. This was like um my woosah after all the work I'd done today and the kind of nervousness and all this stuff because I knew um I would be comfortable. I knew I feel good about it, and I can just kind of just be at ease. And Terrence said it all. Thank you guys, because you guys are the ones that make it happen. You guys are the ones that facilitate, um, basically bringing things to the forefront so people can really experience the things and see the things. You know what I mean? As artists, you know, and even as just people, individuals, we're only so talented at so many things. You know what I mean? Um, like the shirt, she's rocking out. I first right off the rip, I was like, "Oh, I love that shirt," And then my man's hat, I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Man, that's the only two hats I got is two Sonics hats. Period. That's the only two hats I got." But you know what I mean? I was holding it in. I was holding it in.
Keep hope alive.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the design and all this stuff. I love doing stuff. Man, I'll be painting hats, jackets, shoes, backpacks. But I do all kinds of stuff. I don't hardly have the time. So when I see stuff and I just love the representation and love the support. But I also want to give that support back. So definitely, Terrence, I would love to link up with you and all of you, more often, and I just want to say thank you in that I see and recognize and definitely honor the work that you guys do. So thank you. And many others do.
Michael B. Maine.
Wow. Wow. Wow, that's real. Thank you. Thank you both. Man, like, this is why I'm staying at the studio late. Like I mean the work that you all do and how you do it and how you show up for yourselves, for community, like that's inspiring to me. This is, I mean, like I don't have the words to express how much I appreciate you both being here. And I understand that time is limited and people are busy. So thank you for taking the time to be here today and share your stories with us. And Sharon Nyree Williams, Black love to you. I I can't express how much I appreciate you as a person, as a collaborator, fellow artist, mentor, teacher, MC, playwright, Stage manager, executive director, director, all the hats that you wear, and you do it with such love and grace. And the thing that I appreciate the most about how you do it is that you always are 100% Sharon Nyree Williams. Never are you trying to be anybody else. You're always 100% yourself, and that allows me to show up as me. And I really appreciate you, and that's it. I appreciate y'all. Like this, man. I can't stop, and I also can't get the words out. You're great. You're great, and this is why I have a happiness wall because of people like y'all. So thank you.
Awesome.
Also, I love you, Mama Maine. I can't leave without saying love you, Mom. I know you're still here.
Love you, Mama Maine. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Terrence. Thank you, Myron. And I got to get Tori's comment in here. He said, "We see you, Unc," and that's what's up.
That's my nephew.
Nice.
That's what's up, Tori. Thank you for joining us. Thank y'all, everyone, from joining us from Seattle to LA to North Carolina to Texas. Yo, we were worldwide. We're a national platform, and we enjoy this. And we'll be back April 14th. And just keep supporting artists and keep listening to their stories. We do appreciate it. Michael, drop that beat, yo.
All right. Hang around because you know it's happening twice.
Shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up. Ooh, we shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up. Ooh, we shakin' shit up.
Ringtones available for 99 cents.
Shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up. Ooh, we shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up, shakin' shit up. Ooh.